So the next function that we're going to take a look at here is very similar to the VLOOKUP, but this one is called the HLOOKUP. So the VLOOKUP, remember that one stood for vertical. It's going to search a list in the first column. It's going to look vertically through that first column, and then it's going to return something in the row. Remember the row or the column index num is what it wanted to return back to us. Now the HLOOKUP, what do you think? Horizontal. This one, very similar to the VLOOKUP, vertical. Horizontal, we're going to search a list horizontally, and then we're going to return something back to it based on a row index num. So let's take a look at what the HLOOKUP can do for us. So in this example, I'm looking at the HLOOKUP function worksheet, and we're also going to look at the master inventory list. These two are going to go together, kind of like the H or the VLOOKUP that we looked at earlier. Now, what we want to do is we've got this product code, XP200. That product code is stored, its actual product is stored into 3 different warehouses, and they all have different inventory. So for XP200, warehouse inventory 1 is 150 units. I can go over to the master inventory list, and I can see this here. XP200, there's the product code, and then the 3 warehouses, 150 for warehouse number 1. Now, same idea as the VLOOKUP. Somebody gives you a product, and they want to know the different inventory numbers. Well, I can do that manually, right? I can say it's XP200. I can go over to the master inventory list. I can go search for it horizontally through this first row, find it, and then return one of these row values back. Right? Copy, paste, whatever I'm going to do. Well, let's get a function to do it for us. All right, again, this is going to look very similar to the VLOOKUP that we just looked at. Now, this one's already done. Warehouse inventory 1, it's right there. You can use it as a reference point if you like. I'm going to drop down a cell, and I'm going to create this one as we go through this lecture. So this is warehouse inventory or warehouse 2 inventory for this product. All right, so I'm inside of B3 or B6. I'm going to start the function equals HLOOKUP. There it is. Now, just like the VLOOKUP, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 arguments that it wants us to fill out. Now, again, to make this a little bit easier to see, I'm going to go hit the FX button. There it is. So first thing it wants to know is, well, what do you want me to look for in order to find the inventory number? Well, the lookup value is going to be cell B3. Now, later on, again, I'm going to copy this formula. I want to be able to drop it down into the next row. Okay. Well, I want to make that absolute. B3 should always be the lookup value. So I'm going to click into there, F4, put the $signs in, and we're going to make both the column and the row absolute. It should be an absolute cell B3. Now, the next thing it wants to know is the table array. Where am I going to look to find this? Well, here, click in the table array. I'm going to go to master inventory list, and I'm going to go click on the entire list. I'm going to get A2 all the way down to G5. All right, and we're going to make that absolute. A2 to G5, F4, absolute. Now, the next thing it wants to know is the row index. So I'll click into there. Remember, we're looking for XP200, but then we want to return warehouse 2 inventory. So I'll click into there. I'll go back to the master inventory list. Let's shrink this window a little bit. So the HLOOKUP is going to look inside the first row of our table array, find the XP200, and then it's going to return a specific row back to us. Warehouse 2 is in the 1, 2, 3rd row down. Okay. So for my row index num, I'm going to put the number 3. All right, last thing. If you did the VLOOKUP, same idea here. Range lookup. Do you want to find the exact match, or do you want to find the closest thing to it if it can't find the exact? Well, I want to find the exact. So I'm going to say false. And that's it. What are you looking for? Where am I going to look for it? Which row do you want to return back to you once I found it? And do you want the exact match? I'll hit OK. And 110. Let's just make sure. For XP200, warehouse 2 inventory. XP200, warehouse 2, 110. We got it. We're gold. That's it right there. That's the HLOOKUP. Should feel very similar to the VLOOKUP. Okay? of the two, I would say the VLOOKUP is the more common one, but it really depends on how you want to search your list. Do you want to search it vertically? Do you want to search it horizontally? All right, try it out. Jump into cell B7 and complete that one. Right, go through the steps, fill out the 4 things, get it to look up the information for you. This is Excel's HLOOKUP function.